let's actually start adding some text. So we'll go over here to the type tool and start typing directly on the screen. So with the type tool selected, we are going to add the word floating frames. Okay, not too bad, but the default font, it's not really doing it for me. So let's open up another window. We'll go over here to Window and we'll open up Essential Graphics. And it'll open up in another tab here. So we still have Essential Sound, but now we also have Essential Graphics. And this is what's going to control all the graphics that we are seeing. So first, let's choose another font. Let's try Poppins. Oh, I quite like that. Maybe all caps. Adjust the kerning and leading a little bit. Adjust the position and alignment. Make the font smaller. So you can see here in Align and Transform, as I hover over any of these numbers, they change. Also, see what's happening here in the timeline itself. You can see here on track number 2, the actual text has become a layer. Now, if I want to duplicate this, I just hold down Option and drag, and then it duplicates it for me. So now I have something that I can go ahead and reposition over here. And I'm going to type in parchment paper. Now that font is quite big, so I'm going to make it smaller, maybe 60. So let's make this one 60 as well, just to keep the same size. Okay, nice. Floating frames, parchment paper. I'm going to hold down Alt or Option, drag that again over here. Selection tool over here. Let's make it left justified. This is just like if you've used Photoshop or Illustrator, you'll recognize a lot of this menu. Artwork. By the way, this is an artwork that I made in the style of Roy Lichtenstein. I could also just make this longer, right? And then just use the razor tool to cut it. That's the other way to do it. Great. And then let's do the word ingredients. So I will extend this, cut it right here, and not ingredients, let's do tools. And let's center justify it and then center it, align it in the center, make it really big. Let's center align it again. Give it, yeah, there we go. Nice. This doesn't have to be completely white, right? I can make it slightly see-through. Remember how on the audio, this was our volume line? Well, on video, this is our opacity line. So I can drag this down and make it a little bit more transparent. Nice. And if you wanted to add some more of those fun blend modes, they're over here in Effect Controls, which is a window that, by the way, exists for whatever you're on. So here under Effect Controls, you can go ahead and under Opacity, you can do something like, I don't know, Overlay, for example. Turn that back on. Yeah, so maybe Soft Light. Maybe that's better. Something like that. Nice. And let's actually, I alt dragged that title over. Let's give this a name. So light up artwork or light up art. And let's have it appear right as the lights go down. There. And let's give it a color, maybe a yellow. Nice. I'll start it there, and then it'll fully get the color it needs to be there. So I'll place a marker just so that I know. And then what I'll do is I'll place a keyframe on this, meaning it'll start at 0 and then it'll end up at 100 opacity. So all I have to do is hold down Alt, place a keyframe, hold down Alt, place a keyframe, and drag the first one down. And if you want to see just that without having this influence you, I can always turn off the visibility of the bottom layer just so that you can see only what the graphic is doing. That's actually what's so fun about having multiple layers, right? Because if I want to export a version of this later that has no graphics at all I have to do is toggle this off, and now you can't see any of the graphics. I can always enable the visibility, and now you can see all of the graphics. Speaking of enabling or disabling, what if I wanted to turn off some of these graphics, but not all of them, right? What if I wanted to I don't know, turn off these middle 3, for example, right? Because if I disable the visibility of the whole layer, I disable everything on that layer. So I could take these 3 and move them up and then take off the visibility of that layer. Or something else I could do is I could take these 3, right click and deselect enable. So see how now they're grayed out? This is like a bright red and this is like a dull red. So you see this one, but you don't see these 3. I'm going to re-enable them. I could right click, go to enable, or I could just do Shift E and that'll enable, disable different layers. Okay, now that I've added all this text and all these directions, maybe I rethink the color or the font that I'm trying to work with. I can always change it. So if I select all of these, I can go up here and I can just change the font to whatever I want. Maybe I'm feeling something like this. Actually, I quite like that rounded vibe.